Pop Psych, and here's why. It stands for popular psychology, and through YouTube, I will become popular, and I'll be a popular psychologist. I'm David Colarosi. No, it's Dr. David Colarosi. I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy and a PhD in counseling psychology.
You are such a genius.
Al, tell people why you're upset. Come on, Al. What's wrong?
I'm sad that Rachel and Dave Hollis are getting divorced. Well, I feel like I believed in their relationship podcast and all their tips and advice. I'm a sucker because I went to...
You're not a sucker.
Yes,
You're
I went
not a
to
sucker.
3...
You're not a sucker, but I did call it.
We've stayed consistent with our date night. We still make out on the reg, boo.
Yeah.
I love
you too.
Right.
So big news in the self-help community. We just found out tonight that Rachel Hollis and Dave Hollis are getting divorced. My wife is devastated, and a lot of people are actually devastated. I don't know if you know who Rachel and Dave Hollis are. Rachel Hollis is a famous blogger, motivational speaker, author. She wrote the book Girl Wash Your Face, and then the book Girl Stop Apologizing. And I will tell you, I was actually pretty skeptical. My wife has been raving about Rachel Hollis for several years now. I did read both her books, and I did start referring those books on to my clients. I think they're fantastic. I think Rachel's fantastic. So while I am not totally shocked that they're getting divorced and it's not devastating to me, I do think it's a devastating thing for her fans. Rachel and Dave Hollis have made a ton of money marketing and talking about their relationship. Rachel Hollis started off, and really I would say what Rachel does really well and has done really well is has shared the importance of women in particular reaching for their dreams. She sort of said, look, you can be a mom, and you can be a businesswoman, and you can be a wife, and you can do all of those things well. You have the right to ask for that. And so she's really pushed a lot of women to stretch and take what's theirs and ask for what they want in their relationships, in their jobs, and I think her impact has been fantastic. And then I think my understanding is, I have not read Dave's book, I've just read Rachel's book. My understanding is they sort of began working together. Dave quit a lucrative job at Disney and started running the Hollis company, and then a big part of their business model was the podcast that they had together, their conferences that they led together, their conferences that were specifically about marriage. And I think just 2 weeks ago, they came out with a podcast talking about how they were able to overcome the quarantine, and they've gotten better and better throughout. Whatever, it's really, again, it's a zero unless they are people that you look up to. And I do think that people find motivational figures, and I think it's healthy to find motivational figures to help guide you through different stages of your life. And I think Rachel does that for a lot of women, in particular moms, that are struggling with navigating their work life, their kids, and their relationship with their partner. And then for her to be all gung-ho about it, and then at the drop of a hat be like, hey, we've been miserable for 3 years. That's what her tweet came out, or her Instagram post said. We've been miserable for years, and we're ending the relationship. So sorry. And it has left a lot of people feeling like they were duped by the whole thing. And my wife is one of those people. She is devastated. And so I thought, if my wife is this devastated about it, I imagine there are other people that are devastated about it. I'll add it to the YouTube channel. So here is my theory. Everybody has different theories about what it was. Was it infidelity? Was Dave jealous of her success? I don't think it was anything like that. What I would imagine is they suffered the burden of working together. I think that Rachel was uber successful. I think she convinced Dave to drop his career that he wasn't happy in and move to working with her, which I think probably felt really good initially. But I think it's, in the big scheme of things, it's pretty difficult to live with someone, parent with somebody, and work with someone. Especially when you have two distinct paths, right? Rachel was always motivated to be in this space, and Dave was not. And Dave sort of adopted her space. I think it's pretty difficult to make that jump and make that jump successfully without being burdened by falling into somebody's shadow, not being able to differentiate. And so I sort of feel like a big piece of this was them feeling like they were sort of stuck with each other. My guess would be that Rachel was tired of trying to make Dave feel better and trying to make Dave happy. And my sense is that Dave probably felt frustrated by the fact that he was unable to really fully differentiate under the Hollis brand. So I don't have any real reason to think that other than listening to their podcast and sort of looking at their relationship. And I imagine that'd be a pretty difficult dynamic. So we'll see. Rachel's Instagram posts, or Dave's Instagram posts, one of them said that they are continuing to run the Hollis business together. Dave's going to stay on as the CEO or the president. I'm doubtful that'll last very long, but I imagine they've got to figure out what to do with their business. I was telling my wife, they must have been freaking miserable for them to get a divorce. Everybody's all online. Everybody is pissed that they gave up. How could they give up? This is devastating. And I really think that that's not fair. I understand that they have created they've created an entire business around having a healthy marriage. But if you can imagine being in that marriage, having it go so south that you are going to destroy your biggest sort of source of income, you're going to upset thousands and thousands, I don't know if it's millions of fans, you're going to isolate yourself, you got to start all over. It's a devastating blow to their family. I really do feel bad for them, and I think we should probably all give them a little bit of grace around it. One other thing, just for those of you that do listen to the Hollises or followers of them, I do want to make a point, just from a psychological standpoint, the work that they were doing was good work. The idea of being structured in your approach to your relationship, I think is really healthy. Having those, date night once a week or date night once every other week, I think is really powerful and very effective, and something that any therapist or counselor would advocate for. The idea of meeting on Sundays and thinking about what your week looks like and coordinating that calendar, I think is anything any psychologist would support. I think the idea of trying to fall in love with and stay in love with your partner is something that any psychologist would support. So the work was good, and I am concerned that my wife and people that are frustrated with the Hollises are going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Their relationship didn't work. It doesn't mean that what they did to support the relationship was necessarily bad, right? There's no perfect sort of cocktail of behaviors that makes a relationship work. And so it's not fair to sort of say, well, if the Hollises can't make it work, then it's not going to work for me. In the same way, I think Rachel's mission as far as getting women to step into their dreams and take what they want, I think is really powerful. And I really hope that people don't hear about the divorce and go, oh, it was all bullshit. Because I don't think it was bullshit. I think this was really hard for them. Perhaps they could have done a better job of letting their community know that they were struggling. I don't know. But for what it's worth, I think it was all very powerful. And I would even argue that if your relationship is struggling, the things that they suggested you do, as far as the date nights, the spending time with each other, I would encourage you to do all those things also. So, thanks for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe.